Time now for Options Insight. I'm Abigail Doolittle. Joining me from the CBOE in Chicago is Scott Bauer of Prosper Trading Academy. Thank you so much, Scott, for joining us once again. Always love having you join Options Insight. You know, and so we have something to talk about this week, a little bit of volatility. We were speaking last week in small moves ahead of Friday's rally and then the big two-day sell-off. Now we have a little bit of a rebound. What are investors waiting for next?
Well, we're through earnings season. Obviously, front and center is what's going on with China. And I will tell you, Abigail, looking at the type of trade that's down here, talking to the traders down here, this market really does want to rally back. It really wants to make up the losses that we saw. But the overhang is, what's the next tweet going to be? What is going to happen with this delegation coming out here?
So what signals are you watching in terms of a tell on a possible trade deal or no trade deal? Is there options action that gives you a better sense, or the VIX, or what we're seeing with the S&P 500?
Yeah, VIX is definitely part of it. And in fact, earlier today, when the market was up a little bit earlier today, VIX was up, which had me concerned. Now, as the market has really rallied throughout the day, we're seeing VIX come down, and I'm seeing a lot of activity, a lot of sell activity, a lot of selling calls in the VIX, which tells me that, investors are maybe not so fearful of the VIX spiking back up, above 20, 21 again.
Well, speaking of some of that beneath the surface activity, yesterday, Kevin Kelly of Benchmark Investments, who's similar to you, joins us quite frequently. He was saying something pretty interesting, that in terms of the put action on the tech sector, it suggested it was profit taking. But on the industrial sector, it looked like there were some investors, traders who are outright bearish. Do you have any thoughts about that kind of a divergence and what it might mean around trade?
Well, I think in relation to the trade issue, you look at the industrials, which, perhaps maybe one of the sectors that may have the most at risk there. That's probably people really just positioning themselves, taking some risk off the table, having a nice ride for the first, 4 months of the year.
Got it. Yeah, that does make sense. Well, speaking of technology, your trade is on ROKU, so talk to us about your trade.
Earnings after the close today. Yesterday, they actually got upgraded pretty heavily. And, I think it's an opportunity to get in before earnings with the market, kind of selling off yesterday. So I love this stock. I love, the potential earnings report here. Market is looking for a move of about $9. So what I'm doing is buying next week's 68.73 call spread. $5 wide. I could pay about $1.30 or so. The reward to risk on this is great. I'm looking at that upside of about $73, which is right in line with what the option market expected move is to the upside.
Scott Bauer of Prosper Trading Academy. I love your optimism around the stock market, and I also love the fact that you make these big calls right ahead of earnings. Today, bullish on ROKU. Caroline, Scarlett, back to you.